Alright, we're going to make a jellyfish articulated umbrella. Let's take a look. Here we go. So first we're going to take out the shape. We're going to cut half of it away. So we're just going to take this hole and we're going to put it right in the middle, just like so. And we're just going to make sure it's going to cut everything it wasn't going to. Now it will. And we also want to just make sure it's right in the middle there. Looks like it comes right to the point. Good. Okay, duplicate. And remove that bit. Okay, so that looks good. Now, we're going to duplicate this bit. And we're going to move it out. 1, 2, with the arrow key. And we're going to make that a hole. And we're going to group these together. And we're going to now have one panel of what will be our umbrella. Now, I'd say that the umbrella is probably a little, each panel is a little bigger than that, just like so, and probably more like this. Okay, and now we're going to do a couple of movements here. We're going to rotate this kind of like on an angle so that it's umbrella-esque. I say that's umbrella-esque, so let's do it right there at 67.5. Okay. So now what we're going to do is we're going to actually, yeah, that's fine. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to move it, and we're going to rotate it, like so, so that we can kind of pair these things up. We want these 2 points to kind of match each other. So I'm going to come out, and I just want that line to be, I want that line to be gone. So we're going to have to zoom out a little bit. Okay. That's looking pretty good. Let's zoom in. Let's move it right up against it. We're going to bump it right up against it there. And you're trying to get rid of this little groove there. So we're just going to go like that. Don't worry about this at the moment. I think we can get rid of that. So we're going to duplicate, 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 duplicate. Now, this I don't like, but for this purpose, you can modify this so that you can get that right. But for our purposes, that's looking like an umbrella. Okay. So now we're going to group all this. And now we have our top of our umbrella thing here. Okay. So for the jellyfish part, I was thinking about this, and I was thinking, what if we made little hooks? Okay. Kind of like so. We're going to duplicate this. We're going to hold shift. We're going to bring this down like that. Okay. We're going to expand it out in both directions. We're going to do that. We're going to make this into a hole. And now we're going to group that together. Now we have this little hook that we're going to flip. Kind of like, oh, I don't know. Something that can hold something. Alright. So now what we want to do is drop this like, well, it's up to you, but I'm holding shift to scale this down that way. We can have these like hang, I don't know, maybe off the edges of each of these panels, maybe off the corners, I don't know. This is going to be kind of up to you, but let's just say we wanted it like around here. Okay? Now those are not the tentacles that we would have on the jellyfish. Okay, so what I'm doing here is I'm just I duplicated that, and now if I duplicate again, it'll start to do that. It's not perfect, you'll have to play with that, but you get the idea. Okay, so we have these hooks. So what's going on the hooks? Well, I looked at this 3D printed jellyfish model. Get out of here. Get out of this hook. Get out. Alright, well, there it is. And you see these little danglies? I think this look cool. So my thought was, we make this little loop and then some little danglies, and we got something that hooks onto those hooks. So, those danglies are just wibbly wobblies. So we'll just make some wibbly wobbly shape, like that kind of comes in. Just fill all this. Okay, and then like this. Jellyfish tentacle things. I don't even know if they're not tentacles because they don't have suction cups, but whatever. So you'd make a bunch of these. They'd all be different. Okay. But don't put the hook here yet. Okay. We'll attach a hook. Obviously that's too thick. They're kind of thin. Okay. We're going to. Geez, we just take this thing and duplicate it, drop it down. Since it's on an angle, I'd probably just recreate this, but for our purposes here, to just explain it, we're just going to use it. So I'm going to get it roughly correct. So now, drop it down to be level with this thing. We'll rotate it around so it's going to be on the top of this. I'm going to squeeze it in, just like so. And whoa, there. We're going to take this a little bit, move it up here, we're going to focus in here. That needs to come down so that it's in the same plane. Alright. And we have our thing, we're going to take this over here. I don't know if I like how thick that is. I'd probably redo it if I was doing this personally, but I'm not. I'm just making this thing. So now what we do is we group those two things together to create one shape. And then what this looks like is, rotate this at 90, move it over here. Rotate it again. Now you wouldn't do this, we would print these flat, but to just see the effects, you'll see. Move this out like this, move it up. These would hang on these little hooks, you see? And then they would wobble, you see? Just like that. Just like this. You would make different ones for each one of these. Whatever. Alright, well that's not working. But you get the idea. And then, this has this cool little spindly thing. I'm not sure. And then this is another articulated jellyfish movement thing. That would be just with two interlocking hooks, kind of like this. You could do it like that. But, and that's our umbrella. That's how I came up with that one shape there. It's a little different than what we did, but not much. If we wanted that little spindly shape that kind of looked neat, maybe as the handle. I'm trying to think how we would do that. I mean, I would maybe use something like this, maybe? And I would increase the amount of sides. I would flatten it. And I would duplicate and raise and rotate and maybe shrink. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna duplicate, and then maybe at this point I would take this, I would click it, I would duplicate, make it a little bigger, raise it, duplicate, oops, didn't do that, raise it, let's make it a little bit bigger, raise it again, because it didn't do it. Yeah, something like that. Make that smaller. Duplicate that. Raise that out. Spin that around. However, kind of looks. And duplicate that. And with this one, I would probably shrink it a bit, and then duplicate. Something like that. At this point, I would come over to the side, I would select all of this, and I would group that to make it one jam, like so, and then that would be in the middle. And that, then obviously this would, to be honest, I would maybe print this separate from this. And then we would just attach it later on. But if you wanted to attach it, you would just move it. You would move this whole shape right into here, like so. And you would make sure like all your other stuff is out of the way. Just like this. You see how that would be on the hook. And that would be on the hook. Duplicate this one. Move this. Rotate. Go like there. Duplicate. Move that. Duplicate. Kind of getting a jellyfish feel. Duplicate that. Rotate. Move that one back here. One more. And you can see why you would want to do each of these separately, because I think it would just look better. But I think that if you took your time with these little danglies and made them really kind of look more like this, so triangle at the top and then tapered into the bottom. And you could do this like more swirly. Another way to do the swirly thing would be to take this tool, do a swirly shape in one big motion, like this. Okay, that's our swirly shape done. And then shrink this down. Maybe stretch it like that. That would be a better dangly piece too. And then we would duplicate this in a way that makes it, by rotating as we duplicate, into a shape that's kind of like weird. So I'm just going around duplicating this. So not exactly, so remember that was just this one curve, and this is like all sorts of curves here. This is like in and out, in and out. But by doing that duplicate, rotate feature, you can get something like that. This kind of looks like an octopus. Alright, so there you go. Hopefully that was helpful. Good luck.